Hello students, in this video lecture we are going to talk about William Blake's song-like poem titled A Poison Tree. This poem is extracted from the collection of songs titled Songs of Innocence and Songs of Experience published by William Blake in 1794. This is a very short poem from this collection. First of all, we will take a short survey of William Blake, his life, his literary output, and characteristics of his poetry. In the Romantic era, the poets like William Wordsworth, William Blake, Robert Southey, John Keats, and P.B. Shelley have given a big contribution. Out of these poets, the place of William Blake in the Romantic era is very important. He is remembered in English poetry for his enormous contribution through two important poetic works titled Songs of Innocence and Songs of Experience. William Blake has also written different poems titled Daughters of Albion, the first book of Euryzane, Milton, and Jerusalem are some of his philosophical poems. In Songs of Innocence and Songs of Experience, very short poems that have been included, such as The Lamb, The Tiger, London, Jerusalem, Lyric from Milton, so on and so forth. His works classed as prophetic books, and his poems can be considered as a philosophical poems. William Blake engraved, colored, printed, stitched, and sold these works with the help of his wife, Catherine. His poetry filled with visions. Blake tries to show the two contrary states of the human soul, like innocence and experience, in his Songs of Innocence and Songs of Experience. The present poem, A Poison Tree, is taken from his poetic collection entitled Songs of Experience. Songs of Innocence and Songs of Experience of Blake is a collection in which Blake compared two worlds of human understanding. One, the world of innocence, which indicates the world of purity and virtuous things. And second, world of experience, which suggests the world of vice and corruption, impurity. So there is always a conflict between innocence and experience. These two world views, world of purity and virtue at one level and world of vice and corruption at another, is beautifully explored by William Blake in his poetic collection. The part Songs of Experience has 26 poems, including A Poison Tree. This part is an expression of grief regarding the ways in which the tough experiences of adult life destroy the innocence of the earlier phase of, or the growing up years in the human life. To be more simple, in the growing up years, in the childhood days of William Blake, he has seen innocence. There was no any kind of maturity to understand the real things. But in the age of experience, I mean in the adulthood age, William Blake experiences a lot of things in a true sense because he comes to maturity. And this maturity gives a lot of understanding to William Blake. The poem A Poison Tree, which also talks about this kind of mature things, that is anger. The center core of the poem is anger, which the speaker narrates in this poem. It is a very simple poem which is very familiar to a common readers. The simplicity of the poem and the familiarity of its emotional appeal have made it one of the best loved English poems in the romantic phase of English literature. The poem, A Poison Tree, is composed in first person narration. The speaker of the poem is the poet himself. Hence, the personal pronoun I is used. The poet tells us about the feeling of anger. See the first stanza of the poem. I will read the first stanza and then we will discuss. I was angry with my friends. I told my wrath, wrath means anger, my wrath did end. I was angry with my foe, foe means enemy. I told it not, my wrath did grow. The meaning of this first stanza is very simple. When the poet was angry with his close friend, he told his friend about his anger. Resultantly, his anger comes to an end. And this is a natural thing. When you share your joys or sorrows with your friend, your joys or sorrows becomes it becomes less. So in the same manner, the poet explains that when he was angry, he shared his anger with his friend as his anger comes to an end. See the first two lines. I was angry with my friend. The poet becomes angry on his friend and he told his anger to his friend as his anger comes to an end. In the next two lines, the poet says, I was angry with my foe. I told it not, my wrath did grow. In the second two lines, the poet becomes angry, but he has not said this anger to his enemy, yet the anger becomes more. So when he was angry with his enemy, he did not tell about his anger to him. It makes a bad effects as his anger grows. This action of telling had a positive effect on the poet. It put an end to his bad feelings. But the case was different when he was angry with his foe, with his enemy. The time he didn't tell about his anger to his enemy, hence the feeling of anger developed more and more. So what simply the poet wants to say is that if he share his anger to his friend, the anger comes to an end. And when he becomes angry on his enemy, he did not tell his anger to his enemy, the anger grows and grows. It increases and increases. So it makes a bad effects on the personality of the poet, on the personality of the speaker. See the second stanza of the song. And I watered it in fears, night and morning with my tears. And I sunned it with smiles and with soft deceitful wiles. Watered means cultivate by giving water more and more. As we give water to the trees, to the small trees in order to increase the tree, in order to increase it. So that is what watered means. Sunned means to give sunlight. Sunned means to give sunlight, and deceitful wiles means trick to hide his red hatred. In the second stanza of the song, William Blake wants to say that he watered the poison tree by the feeling of fear. He watered the poison tree by the feelings of fear night and day as the tears falls from his eyes. And I watered it in fears, he says, night and morning with my tears, and I sunned it with smiles and with soft, deceitful wiles. Here the speaker refers to the title of the poem, a poison tree, and uses the metaphor of the poison tree. This tree is nurtured. This tree is nurtured by giving water by the feelings of fear and resentment. While these feelings were inside in the poet's mind, he covered them with false smiles. This acted like sunlight for the growth of the poison tree and the soft, deceitful wiles that are the tricks to hide his real hatred. So, it acts like sunlight for the growth of the poison tree, and the anger continued to grow and became more dangerous one day or the other day. And here, the poet felt the need of revenge. The poet wants to take revenge because he becomes more angry. The metaphor which is used here in the second stanza of the poem, that is a poison tree, itself indicates that his anger grows and grows. His anger increases because he has not tell his anger to his enemy. It grows, and this growth of his anger results into taking a revenge on the side of his enemy. So as the small tree becomes a big tree and gives a fruit, in the same way, the anger in the mind of the poet slowly and smoothly grows in his personality. It goes on the highest point that the speaker wants to take a revenge of his enemy. And hence the third stanza, which talks about the growth of the tree which gives a fruit, namely apple, and as the poet says, and it grew both day and night. The poison tree grew both day and night, and resultantly gives a birth to a fruit by name apple. It was a bright apple till it bore an apple bright. Bore means to produce, to give a birth. And my foe means enemy, beheld it shine. Beheld means the past tense of behold, means seen, saw. And my foe beheld it shine, and he knew that it was mine. So see, a poison tree, as the poet watered the trees, as he nurtured the tree, it grows day by day, and the big tree resultantly gives a birth to a bright apple. And his foe beheld it shine, and he knew that it was the fruit watered and nurtured by his friend, that is the speaker, William Blake. So the tree grew and produced the fruit. An apple is described to be sprouting from this poisonous tree of anger. This beautiful, bright apple attracted the enemy's attention. Actually, it was a tree, it was a poison tree which is nurtured by the poet, and the tree and the bright apple attracted the enemy's attention. He knew that the fruit belonged to the poet. The enemy fully knows that the fruit belonged to the poet, and it was a poison tree. It was a poisonous apple which is nurtured by the poet himself. Then only he has an attraction of eating of that poisonous fruit, and hence the enemy came to the garden of the poet, which is beautifully described in the final stanza of the poem. See the final stanza. And into my garden stole. This is the garden of the poet, where he planted a poison tree and nurtured and watered the poison tree, as this tree produced an apple and a fruit of apple. It was a very beautiful and bright apple, as the enemy wants to eat this beautiful apple. He wants to steal this apple and he wants to eat it. Hence he came to the garden of the poet, as the poet describes, and into my garden stole. When the night had veiled the pole, when the night appears, my foe, my enemy came into my garden in order to steal the fruit. In the morning, glad I see my foe outstretched beneath the tree. The last stanza, where the poet describes the activity undertaken by his enemy, that is to came to the garden of the poet. He described how one night the enemy entered into the poet's garden and ate the apple from this tree. This was the fruit of the poison tree, as I earlier mentioned. So when the enemy ate it, he died. Resultantly, he died due to eating of the poisonous apple. The next morning, when the poet entered into the garden, he saw the dead body of his enemy, which was found lying under the poison tree. So, the poison tree which produce a poisonous apple, and the enemy who came to the poet's garden in order to eat the poisonous apple, he ate it and he died. So, the eating of the poisonous apple itself indicates the story of Adam and Eve in the Bible, who were deceitfully persuaded, convinced to eat the fruit from the forbidden tree of knowledge by an angel of God known as Satan. The fruit is commonly depicted in the Bible as an apple. So here, this reference has been taken by William Blake. In the Bible, in the story of Bible, the fall of Adam and Eve takes place in the paradise. Paradise means heavenly place, Garden of Eden. This is similar to the garden described in this song by William Blake, where the enemy dies. So the poem may be called as a moral tale of suppressed anger and revenge. What is more important to note here in the context of this song is the cultivation of anger is the major concern of this song. The poem tells about how the suppression of anger leads to the growth of anger and other destructive feelings in human beings' personality. So, what is more important is that when we do not express anger and acknowledge it, anger or wrath is cultivated by the mind. It increases and increases. It becomes a destructive force. And one day or the other day, this evil thing, this virtue, leads a man towards his destruction, as it happens about the Poe. The poem compares suppression versus expression, and it also speaks about falseness in the human nature. We can interpret the poem. We can interpret the poem as a tell. We can interpret the poem as a telling about the people who pretend to be friendly, but they may be hiding their real feelings. So, in short, the association of this poison tree is with the idea that when a person cultivates anger and hatred towards someone, these feelings can turn into something dangerous to a, and they may result in the destruction of the enemy, as it happens in the case of the poet's enemy, as he ate the poisonous apple and his life comes to an end. In this manner, the poem suggests that all persons can be guilty of suppressing their inner emotions, and this can become deadly to the outside world.